Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Russellville Cyclone football from North Little Rock, the home of the Charging Wildcats. It's the opening night of conference action for the Cyclones, who come into the football game with a record of 2 victories, no losses, and a tie. There are your co-captains for Russellville. Number 9 is Barrett Hughes. 17 is Jackson Jacobs. We'll catch the rest of them as they come to the center of the football field here at North Little Rock. 26, of course, is Jacob Sparks, and number 44 is Addison Walker. North Little Rock is the place, always a tough place to play, and the North Little Rock Crimson Charging Wildcats, of course, are always a tough foe for these Crimson Cyclones. Number 4 is Colby Miller. Number 91 is Colt Schaller. Big number 78, 350-pound Darius Fountain. That's 3 of the 4 co-captains for North Little Rock. North Little Rock has been blessed by the addition of some additional players. They had a big influx of transfers, many of them coming from Little Rock Central High School. So North Little Rock blessed with additional bodies, and they hope additional talent for the competition in 7A this year. And of course the conference season begins tonight. There's the toss of the coin. North Little Rock won the toss, and they have decided to defer to the second half. Russellville then has the option, and the teams will square around here to see who's going to do what. Russellville will receive and will be defending the goal to your left as you look at your television screen. North Little Rock will be kicking here to start the football game, and they'll be defending the goal to your right. Again, after North Little Rock won the toss but decided to defer, having their choice until the second half. Russellville, the co-captains, go back as normal. They'll be gathered with the team behind the big Russellville Cyclone banner, and the cheerleaders, pep squad, etc., who have made the trip down here to North Little Rock for tonight's football game. The conference opener for the Cyclones and the Charging Wildcats. Getting ready for the Cyclones to bust through that banner and make their way onto the field here at North Little Rock High School. The cheerleaders are ready. You can see they're all poised like they're in the starting block to run the 100-yard dash, and here they come. The cheerleaders right at your camera, right at your screen, and here come the Cyclones. Dressed in white tonight, the road whites with red numerals and black helmets. You hear the applause, a good crowd on hand to support these Cyclones. They run all the way to the far end zone where they will kneel for a pregame prayer, as you see them beginning to do right now. And then they'll get set to receive the football to begin this football game. Nice to have you along. Want to remind you again about our great sponsors who are with us each week for Russellville Cyclone football. They include Arkansas Valley Anesthesia Associates, Doctors Johnston and Richardson, Innovative Industrial Solutions, Kimes Lyons Physical Therapy, Laser Cartridge Plus, Liberty Bank of Arkansas, Little John Trucking, Max Nutrition, the Russellville Cyclone Football Booster Club, Simmons Bank, Sorrells Body Shop Incorporated, and Tyson Foods. Without them, we wouldn't be able to bring you these telecasts. As you look at head coach Jeff Holt, he wants to talk to his return team and get them prepared for this opening kickoff. We're so happy to be with you from North Little Rock, beginning this conference campaign now. The Cyclones off to a good season start at 2-0-1 after tying the Fayetteville Bulldogs. And the Cyclones are excited about playing the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats here at North Little Rock. And across the way you see the Charging Wildcats come onto the field. Russellville was already on the sideline. And the kick receiving team is getting ready to take the field. Cyclones would like to get a good run back to begin the ball game, set the tone for this one. You can see even some smoke across the way there as the Charging Wildcats came onto the field. For Russellville, number 2 is Andrew Tryon. Number 26 is Jacob Sparks. Number 5 is Avarian Collins. And the chances are one of those three is going to make the return, as you see the members of the special team kick return team getting themselves set for this opening kickoff. Beautiful weather, excitement in the air, and lots of great football across the state of Arkansas this evening. And we get the football being ready to be teed up and kicked off here. North Little Rock in the gold and blue with the white trousers, their home uniforms. And it'll be number 18. That is Logan Bussard, who will be kicking off for North Little Rock. There's our ground level camera. You're going to see a lot of ground level shots tonight, a lot of instant replays, and hope you enjoy the telecast. We're ready for football, and we hope that you are. Great Arkansas and Russellville Crimson Cyclone High School football right here on IMC Studios Sportswatch. And the ball is in the air. The game is underway as it's going to be returned by Andrew Tryon. Gets a good return. Let's look at it again. And what I like is Andrew was ready to move forward as he caught the football. He was ready to go north and south. He returns, gets it across the 30-yard line to about the 32, and that's where Russellville will set up shop. Actually, they place it down at the 31. Demarius Neal comes split to the near side. Barrett Hughes, that's your quarterback. Jacob Sparks moves to the left-hand side. Throw it out of the backfield. It is complete. Avarian Collins with a good pickup. Maybe enough for another first down. About a 10-yard pickup. Let's look at it again on the slow motion. Quick toss out into the flat. Avarian Collins gets it. Gets some good blocking ahead. And the gain across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. Enough for a first down. Colby Miller, number 4, made the stop. Under center now as Demarius Neal's flip-flops from tight end on the left to the right. Give it off to Sparks, and Sparks, not any place to go, got back to the line of scrimmage. And again, Colby Miller, number 4, 5'11", 175-pound free safety, makes the stop for North Little Rock. The officials actually say he lost a little bit, and you heard the public address announcer say 2nd and 11. You see Jeff Van Olen split to the near side along with Demarius Neal. As a matter of fact, 3 wide receivers to the near side for the Cyclones. Hughes tosses it out. It's complete to Avarian Collins, but he is wrestled down immediately after a short pickup. Let's look at it again on instant replay. Again, a quick toss out into the flat. Avarian Collins got it at the 44 and was bounced down at the 45-yard line. Colby Miller again. We've mentioned him enough for a whole ball game already. He barely played a couple of minutes. So Barrett Hughes at quarterback in the shotgun. Football at the 45-yard line. Now it looks like Barrett's going to have to run. Gets out of bounds across the 50. Let's look at it again. This obviously was intended to be a pass downfield, but Barrett Hughes is a seasoned veteran, and he saw there was no one to throw to. Good protection from his offensive line, and guess who's coming right after him again? Colby Miller, number 4, along with number 6, Sam Bullock, ran him out of bounds just shy of the 50-yard line. So you can see the down marker and the distance needed to go still about 2+ yards. And so Zack Hawker, the Russellville Crimson Cyclone punter, and a dandy, gets a good snap, and Pooch kicks it. Try to get it down there where it'll be down, and it's going to be down inside the 10-yard line by Andrew Tryon. Good job. Shy of the 10-yard line, and that's where North Little Rock will have to start deep in their own territory. First down and 10. So Russellville got a little bit of offense going, but not able to put any points on the board, and North Little Rock will have it for their first opportunity of the evening. North Little Rock, big and strong as you look at that offensive line coming across there. Number 16 is Isaac Kelly. He's the quarterback under center. Turns, hands it off. The halfback slides across the right-hand side. Carrying the football, number 23, was Michael Tillman, a senior, 6', 215-pounder. Short pickup on the play. Second down coming up for the Cyclones. You can see the markings on the field that they also use this particular field apparently for soccer. Kelly, quick toss right, and looking for some room to go. Very speedily was number 7, Tim Johnson, 5'6", 145-pound senior. He is quick. Finally forced out of bounds. Aaron McConnell over there, number 47 for the Cyclones. Bring a wide receiver to the near side. Devontae Rich. Handoff inside and not much going. And very tough going inside right now for North Little Rock. Gave it off once again. That is Michael Tillman. And Tillman, very short yardage straight ahead. Matter of fact, the football was recovered there by Justin Henderson. And North Little Rock will now have to punt the football away. Coming up short of first down yardage, and there's Jeff Van Olen. Good snap, and the kick is away. Van Olen comes up, and the ball rolled short, so Van Olen wisely lets it roll dead, and it'll be in North Little Rock territory at about the 45-yard line. A short kick, and Russellville will be set up with good field position. As a matter of fact, they gain a little yardage on the exchange from when Russellville punted to when North Little Rock punted. So the football at the 45, no score, first quarter. You see many of the sponsors being listed at the bottom of your screen for tonight's telecast. Barrett Hughes brings Varian Collins in motion. Fake it to him and give it off to Jacob Sparks, trying to sweep the right side, and he's run out of bounds after a very short pickup. Number 8, Dion Rhodes, forced Jacob Sparks out of bounds. It's a very short pickup, called a yard, second and 9. There's a Varian Collins, number 5, coming split to the near side. Lutz and Van Olen split to the far side of the field. Hughes back, wants to throw, throws it on the flat, and has got Lutz. And the pickup down inside the 35-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. Let's look at it again. Lutz goes out there in the flat, and he is wide open there about the 38-yard line, and he's finally bumped out of bounds by Deontay Randolph. So Russell finding some openings in the flat. Hughes now looks over to the sideline for the play that head coach Jeff Holt wants to run. So a little bit audible changing of the play here. Back, looks down the middle and throws incomplete. He was hit just as he released the football. The pass was intended for Avarian Collins, but you saw someone hit him down around the ankles just as he was delivering the football, and it fell short of the intended receiver. So here's Zack Hawker back into the ball game. Blake Robinson also, so will we have a field goal try here? It looks like we're going to. From the 41-yard line, it'll be a 51-yard field goal from Zack Hawker that he'll be attempting. He's on the hash mark to the far side of the field, so the angle is back to the right. And the kick is up. And the kick this time, no good. Let's try it again and look at it again on the instant replay. And Zach was kind of knocked down as he was attempting that field goal, and you saw the flag from the official standing right over the play. So apparently it's going to be against North Little Rock for either running into or roughing the kicker. Looks like it's the running into the kicker penalty, which is the shorter variety. And Russellville gets new life inside the North Little Rock 30. So the backfield of Barrett Hughes and Jacob Sparks, Avarian Collins, etc. run onto the field as Russellville gets a break here. And they can keep the drive alive. High snap. Give it off to Avarian Collins, trying to sweep right. A little bit of running room, but boy, there is that man again. Number 4, Colby Miller, to make the stop. Here's Collins on the replay coming to the near side. Tries to sweep it upfield, and then boom! Boy, he is hit and met hard by Miller. Miller is a hard tackler and hit him high. So just a short gain on the play as Barrett Hughes has the Cyclones at the 27-yard line. Now wants to come back right. Finds Avarian Collins once again, and he dives forward to about the 23-yard line after the catch. So Avarian Collins has been a busy man already this evening for the Cyclones. Just a little over 6.5 minutes left to go in the first period. No score. Football at the 28, make that the 23-yard line. 23-yard line of North Little Rock. Barrett Hughes looks over that charging Wildcat defense. Back to throw, throws it out in the flat. It's caught by Lutz, and Lutz is finally tripped up as he got down to around the 15-yard line. Let's look at it again on instant replay. Lutz coming behind some other receivers out in the flat. Got tagged just as he caught the football, but he holds on and able to dive forward to about 15 before he was dumped by Deontay Randolph, number 2. But a nice throw and catch there to Lutz. First quarter, becoming the latter stages of the first quarter. No score, but Russellville now threatening against the charging Wildcats. Handed off, and Jacob Sparks is dumped in the backfield for no gain. Matter of fact, no loss on the play. Gary Clark, number 59, 6'1", 215-pound defensive lineman, penetrated, knifed through, and dropped. Jacob Sparks for a loss on that particular rushing attempt. So Barrett Hughes goes over a little closer to the sideline to get the play that the coaching staff wants him to run right here. Sparks is in the backfield along with Barrett Hughes. Looking right, throwing, and incomplete. Intended for Van Olen, and it looked like that Barrett Hughes was having a little bit of trouble grasping the football on that particular play. He fitted it to his hand before he threw it, and then it looked like it slipped out of his hand anyway and came up short of Van Olen. Russellville down there in the red zone at about the 18-yard line, between the 18 and 19. Hughes from the shotgun. Looks, fires to the end zone, incomplete, overthrew the intended receiver. And it brings up a fourth down situation, and here comes Zack Hawker and Blake Robinson in for another field goal attempt. The last attempt from 51 yards out was no good, but Zach was run into, and so Russellville got the football right back. This one will be placed down at the 25-yard line. It's a 35-yard field goal attempt from the left hash mark for Zack Hawker. The hold, the kick is up. And the kick is no good, so the score remains scoreless. First quarter, Russellville and North Little Rock. We'll be back in just a moment. There you see the time, 5:15 left to go at the home of the Charging Wildcats, North Little Rock. And you saw Zack Hawker come off to the near side and looked like he was a little bit disappointed in the fact that he didn't nail that 35-yarder. He, of course, had 4 field goals a week ago. Hand the football off, and jumping in there but not getting very far was Michael Tillman, the senior 215-pounder. On instant replay, look, he is met in the midair and driven back by a host of white-jerseyed Russellville Crimson Cyclones. Quarterback Isaac Kelly brings North Little Rock up to the line of scrimmage with a 2nd down and 9 situation from the 21. I formation in the backfield. Throws it out in the flat, and it's incomplete. It was a little low, but then fumbled at that point by the intended receiver. Looked like it was intended for number 1, Devontae Rich, a senior, 6-footer, 180 pounds. But it fell through his fingertips, and it brings up a 3rd down and 9. High formation in the backfield. Hand it off again and across the right side. Michael Tillman, number 23, look at it from ground level, sweeping the right side. Forced back to the inside. Good defensive play there by Blake Robinson, forcing that play back to the inside. And that, of course, for Russellville, Jackson Jacobs finally made the stop, number 17, and it means it'll be 4th down for North Little Rock, and they're going to have to punt the football away. So Russellville's defense has been able to thwart North Little Rock. Almost blocked on that punt attempt, and Van Olen's going to have a little bit of a run back. Eluded 1 tackle, but not the second. Number 25 was first to be there. Dominic Golden, number 25, and Van Olen didn't get much of a return, although he kind of hop, skipped, and jumped around. So Russellville will have the football. 1st down and 10, placing the football down about the 44-yard line when play resumes. 3 minutes and 47 seconds left to go in the first quarter. No score. A great football game here between these two teams. No one has been able to score. Russellville has moved the football pretty well twice, but not able to come away with any points on the board. Barrett Hughes throwing downfield and incomplete, almost intercepted. Again, he was hit just as he delivered the football. Almost coming up with it was Dion Rhodes, number 8. As it tipped off the hands of the intended receiver, and Rhodes almost came up with a interception for North Little Rock. Football at the 39. 3 wide receivers split to the near side. Jacob Sparks in the backfield along with Barrett Hughes. Throws a little screen pass off to the left-hand side, but great recovery. Jacob Sparks got the catch, but dropped just about the line of scrimmage. And over there defensively was Brian McCleary, number 24, a senior, 6'1", 240-pound defensive end. And he smelled that screen pass out in great shape and dropped Sparks for maybe a little bit of a loss, but if anything, no gain. And it's third down. You see the down marker on the sideline, on the near sideline. 3rd down and 10. Well, they had that screen pass set up in good shape as we crossed the 3-minute mark of the first period. Bringing out to the near side of Arian Collins. Gets a little bit of running room. Gets hit hard, bounces away, bounces again away from some hard hitting, and gets down to the 45-yard line, and we see a flag come flying in to the pile. Little look-in pass to Avarian Collins. Got some good blocking downfield. Eluded a tackle. 2 tackles. 3 tackles right there. Another one. And oops, coming across. That may be a face mask, as you saw that highlighted in our replay. And there's a flag on the play, as the hand came draped across the helmet and the face mask. And it is going to be against North Little Rock. It's the inadvertent flag for the face mask penalty. So it's a 5-yard penalty, and it will move the football down to the 41 of North Little Rock. Great job by our cameraman getting right on that particular play. Here's Jacob Sparks, and he's drugged down for a loss. He was trying to go left, saw there was nothing there, went back right, and drugged down by Colt Schaller, senior, 6'2", 230, defensive lineman, number 91. And the loss back to almost the 44-yard line. So Jacob having some tough going. All of the running backs at this time are having tough going against the defensive fronts of the opposing team. Back to throw. Barrett Hughes fires and immediately hit. And the ball knocked away was intended for Jacob Sparks, and the defensive backs for North Little Rock are tossing out some savage licks here this evening, just at the time the football is getting to the target, and that's what is popping that ball loose and incomplete. The ball's on target, and the receivers are making the catch, but they are getting hit savagely by the defenders from North Little Rock, and the ball's popping out. So here's Hughes from the shotgun. Twins right and left. Steps up into the pocket. Now throws incomplete. He was intending it for Matt Lutz, and you saw that a North Little Rock defender, looked like to me that it was Colt Schaller, number 91, had a hold of the jersey of Barrett Hughes, and that's what forced that pass to come up a little bit short. The 43-yard line, Russellville with the football. 1:55 left to go in the opening period. Zack Hawker.
In punting position. Tim Johnson.
That's Tim Johnson, number 7, who's deep for North Little Rock. Another long kick, but this one's going to roll into the end zone. Zach wanted to put the stopper on it about the 5, but it went end over end into the end zone, and North Little Rock will take over. First down and 10 at their own 20. There are the Russellville cheerleaders. No score from North Little Rock. You're watching IMC Studios Sportswatch. So North Little Rock with the latest offensive opportunity, and both teams have not had a whole lot of success moving the football offensively. Kelly is dropped after taking that shot. He was the deep back in the shotgun. Dropped defensively by Addison Walker, the senior 6-foot, 185-pounder, number 44. As he just took the direct snap in the shotgun and went across the right side. Not much room there again against. Neither team has had much success so far tonight against the front wall of the other team's defense. Here's Kelly. Hand off, sweeping the right side. There's a little more running room right there, and down the far sideline, and a big run by Tim Johnson. Boy, he is fast. He is really quick. Carried out to near midfield before run out of bounds into the North Little Rock bench, and the football will be placed down at the 46-yard line of North Little Rock. And he got to the corner so fast and sped down the far sideline before he was bumped out of bounds. Wide receiver near side. Looking. Ooh, Ricky Collins really took a hit there trying to come in. Here's Kelly. He wanted to throw the football. Here comes Collins. He is bumped out of the way, but he forces Kelly to throw the football. He hit him in the back just enough going by after getting bumped out of the way by the blocking back. But he got enough of Kelly that it forced the ball to fall incomplete. And you may have heard some people saying live ball. But from our angle, you could tell that he was throwing forward. It wasn't a lateral. There's Johnson again. Look at him stop and go. A nice run by Tim Johnson. Stop made defensively by Jackson Jacobs, number 17. He changed directions in just a hiccup. So the Cyclones are going to have to kind of get the wraps on Tim Johnson, who's beginning to feel the football game. Each time he carries the football, he's gotten a little bit better, gained a little more yardage. Give it off to the big man fullback. Saw him check into the lineup. That is number 78, Darius Fountain, who is 6 foot, 350 pounds. And they put him in short yardage situations at fullback, and he carried the football down to the 43-yard line. Boy, that's a load. When you talk about a player being a load, there he is standing on the sideline. You can see him there, number 78. And I hate to see him when he gets a head of steam up. There's a whistle on the field and a timeout called by North Little Rock. We'll be right back. Discussion along the sideline. The Russellville colors of red and white, of course. 4 seconds, all there is left to go in this first quarter. And the Russellville defense discussing how to stop Tim Johnson and continue to put the clamps on this North Little Rock offense. They've done a pretty good job throughout this first quarter. Neither team has been able to hit any pay dirt so far. From the shotgun, back Kelly wants to throw downfield. Down there has a man and incomplete. Let's look at it again. And downfield, a good job. Devontae, it should be Rich, was the intended receiver. John Olson was the man who was defending on the play, and that's the end of the first quarter. Start of the second quarter. Cyclone cheerleaders whooping it up on the near sideline here at North Little Rock. There are the first quarter statistics. 6 out of 6 passing, but you look, 1 yard. 13 rushes for 33 yards for the Cyclones, but that's tough going. Just 34 yards of total offense there in the first quarter. And again, The Cyclones were 6 out of 6 throwing the football, but only netted 1+ yard on all 6 of those passing attempts. Most of Barrett Hughes' tosses were out in the flat, and that's part of the reason a lot of the throws were behind the line of scrimmage to start off with. Well, here's Kelly in the shotgun. Gives it off to Johnson, and he is dumped. Nice play defensively by Russell's Andrew Tryon. Let's look at it again from ground level, from the right halfback spot, trying to sweep left. And there's Ricky Collins also. Tryon on the front, Ricky Collins from the back, number 40. And that time, Mr. Johnson didn't have much room to operate. Football at the 43-yard line. Kelly. Play action, rolls right. Has some protection, throws down the middle. Incomplete, and a nice defensive play. Turned in by Patrick Jimenez. Let's look at it again on instant replay from ground level. Kelly throws a rope down here. Zing. But a great job by Jimenez to get in there and break up the pass intended for number 85, Hunter Earhart, a junior, 6'3", 180-pounder. And North Little Rock now will have to punt the football away. It's been a game of punting so far in this football game. Second quarter. Almost blocked, and the punter went down to the ground. Let's see if a flag is called or flag is thrown. There's a call on the play. There's a flag on the play. It was down by Dalton Dunlap, but there it is. As again you'll see the defender Andrew Tryon trying to get away from the punter, but he caught him. And that will be a penalty that will keep the drive alive for North Little Rock and move the football deeper into Cyclone territory as they have the mark off 15 yards for roughing the kicker, and it moves down to the almost the 28-yard line. And you never know, Russellville had an opportunity like this when they had a running into the kicker earlier, and the Cyclones could not take advantage of that particular penalty, but this one, a 15-yard roughing the kicker. Oftentimes these come back to haunt you. Hand it off straight ahead. That's Johnson. Look at him stop and go. And he's going to score. Tim Johnson, wow-wee. He's only 145 pounds, but you know what? You got to catch him. And he's like a little water bug out there. He left several Cyclones reaching for air. 10:49 left to go in the first half. And that, I don't care who you're for, that was a pretty run by Tim Johnson. And so the Cyclones have got a formidable task ahead of them as to keeping the lid on Tim Johnson. The extra point kick is up in the air, and the kick, it's good. 7-0 North Little Rock. Back in a moment. Interesting fact tonight, of course, both kickers are wearing number 18 tonight. Logan Bussard, who just kicked that extra point for North Little Rock, and Zack Hawker, of course, for Russellville. Well, the Cyclones find themselves down 7-0 after that 28-yard run turned in by little Tim Johnson. And I don't say little as a derogatory comment against Johnson, because he is quick as a hiccup, able to turn on a dime, and although he's just 145 pounds, as I said when he scored the touchdown, you got to find him and catch him first. And he changed directions about 3 times on that touchdown run, and I don't believe anyone ever did touch him. So the kickoff, the Cyclones await as they'll try to get back into it here. Logan Bussard going to kick it off. And it's in the air. Taken up the near sideline, now back toward the middle of the field by Andrew Tryon. He breaks the tackle, and then a whole host of blue jerseys swarm him. Led by number 47, Jacario Miles. Let's look at it again from our ground level camera. Trying to get some room and slowed there. Got away from that one tackler, but then look at about 6 tacklers there as he crossed the 20. And one diving over the top. That was Dalton Dunlap, number 10. So Russellville with their poorest field position in a while, inside their own 25. Barrett Hughes wants to throw, throws out in the flat. It is complete. That's Van Olen across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Nice throw and catch there as we look at it again from instant replay. Quick step back. Hughes throws out into the flat. Van Olen able to cut it upfield and almost got away. But 2 North Little Rock defenders right there. So Russellville, after a pretty good throw and catch there, moves upfield across the 30-yard line to almost the 32. Twin receivers to the near side. Barrett Hughes. Gives it off, and Sparks is swarmed under at the line of scrimmage. Stop there, turned in by Colt Schaller. He's made a number of tackles already this evening from that defensive end position. And so far, Jacob Sparks has just not had a lot of real estate. The pass protection has been excellent for the Russellville offensive line, but opening some holes to get some significant yardage on the ground so far has just not been happening for the Cyclones. Under center now, Barrett Hughes. Jacob Sparks the only setback behind him. Give it to him once again, and he's not any better the second time than it was the first time. Sparks right up the middle. Several blue jerseys were there, including Sam Bullock, number 6, number 91, Colt Schaller. 4th down and a yard for Russellville. And let's see if we see Zack Hawker check into the lineup. He is. He's in there to punt the football away with Russellville trailing 7-0. Again, your many great sponsors are being shown at the bottom of the screen as we go throughout the ball game. We have a whistle on the play, and a timeout is called for Russellville. On the sideline, a little pep talk coming from head coach Jeff Holt. And the 8:21 showing on the clock. Left in period number 2, and North Little Rock leads by a score of 7-0 on a 28-yard scamper by Tim Johnson, the senior running back for North Little Rock. So Zack Hawker retreats to kick the football away for the Cyclones. It's a good snap. The return is on, and a good kick by Hawker. Goes over the receiver's head, one of the short receivers, and they let it just roll dead, and it does. And Jacob Sparks down there to put it down. North Little Rock ball, 1st and 10 in a moment. So here come the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats, already leading 7-0 midway through the second quarter. Back, Kelly throws out of the backfield, and it's complete, but immediately down. It was Andrew Tryon over there. Both the quarterbacks using the flat, throwing these short passes out of the backfield, and lucky that the receiver was able to hold on to the football that time as Andrew Tryon searched him pretty good. 5-yard pickup, 2nd down and 5 for North Little Rock. Wide receiver comes way wide to the near side. That's the wide side of the field. Kelly gives it off inside, and here comes Johnson again. Tim Johnson, look at him go. Goodbye, Nelly. Touchdown, North Little Rock. Boy, when he got to the crease, forget it. The little guy, he didn't need to be big or small. He was just fast. And no one could catch him when he got to the crease, and that's 2 touchdowns. 81 yards is the official call with 7:20 left to go in the first half, and North Little Rock leads 13-0 on 2 scampers by Tim Johnson. And he's been impressive. So here is Logan Bessard. Kelly holds, the kick is up, and the kick is good. And North Little Rock extends their lead to 14-0 over the Russellville Crimson Cyclones. And the Cyclones going to have to get the offense pumped up when we come back after these messages. So the Cyclones now find themselves down 2 touchdowns, but this is a team that was down last week to Fayetteville and came back strong. So it's not completely unfamiliar territory. And this is a confident Cyclone team, and head coach Jeff Holt knows that the Cyclone offense can strike quickly and can be a potent force. And the defense was playing well. They've played very good against North Little Rock, except for those 2 long runs. The first one, 28 yards. The second one, 81 yards by Tim Johnson. Logan Bessard will kick off for the Charging Wildcats. Now leading 14-0 here midway through the second quarter. Ball dropped by Van Olen. He goes back near the 10. Got some running room. Finally knocked out of bounds about the 25-yard line. On that run back by Jeff Van Olen. Knocking him out of bounds was J.J. Sheerans, number 26. For the Charging Wildcats. And the Cyclones have got to get the old offense, the big O, going. 3 wide receivers to the near side. The running game for both teams until those 2 big runs had been pretty well nil. Throw it out of the backfield. That is complete to Lutz. He throws. Left-handed. Got a man wide open. It's Collins. He's going to go all the way on the trick play, and it's a Russellville touchdown. Now, he did hold the ball up. Kind of a little bit of showboating there. Here's Lutz after the lateral throw. Then Lutz throws left-handed, hits it right on the money to Collins on the instant replay, and Russellville is right back in it with a big throw and catch on the trick play. The lateral to Lutz, and Lutz throwing it down to Avarian Collins for the Russellville touchdown. And Zack Hawker will try to make it 14-7. As Russellville will move the offensive line back into position on the shift. Blake Robinson will hold. The snap down, the kick is up, and the kick, it is good. Your score, the new score. Russellville in it now. North Little Rock 14, Russellville 7. We'll be right back. Well, the Cyclones got to feel a bunch better now after that exciting. Well, we've had some exciting plays this football game already, and it's just midway through the second quarter. some super fast running by Tim Johnson for North Little Rock, including an 81-yard scamper, and then the long lateral and touchdown pass trick play by Russellville with Avarian Collins scoring the touchdown. So Zack Hawker to put it down at the 40-yard line. Let's see if he kicks it through the end zone, or into the end zone, or beyond the end zone. From North Little Rock, IMC Studios Sportswatch. You're watching it thanks to the many sponsors who bring you these telecasts each week, supporting Russellville High School athletics. So Zach will tee it up. He's ready to go from the 40. Hawker approaches the football, and there she goes. And there she goes. That's a typical Zack Hawker kickoff. No one's going to return that, and with 7:01 left to go in the first half, it's North Little Rock 14 and Russellville 7, and the Charging Wildcats have the football. Kelly back at quarterback. Isaac Kelly, a 6-foot, 160-pounder senior. But the guy who has been the difference maker so far is a little bit number 7, Tim Johnson. They fake it to him this time, and Collins took it himself, and he's stood up by Aaron McConnell, number 47. He had lots of help. Let's look at it on instant replay from a different angle, and Kelly tried to take it, and he is wrapped up right there and forced back on the play. A host of white jerseys there after what they tried to do is get Russellville to bite on Johnson carrying the football again. But the Cyclones stayed at home and saw Kelly keeping the football and made sure he didn't get very far. Give it off to Tim Johnson this time. Not much going as he swept the left side. Let's look at it again from ground level. Here's Johnson. Misses one tackle there with that quick movement. Cuts back to the inside, but Russellville able to run down that play, and there's 4 or 5 white jerseys who corral Mr. Johnson. He again had some nifty moves, but not able to come up with the big yardage that he had previous. Back, Kelly rolls to the near side. He's being rushed by Collins and throws complete downfield to the 38-yard line. The pass complete to Justin Henderson, number 9, on the play. Stop was made by Jackson Jacobs, number 17. And it's a first down for North Little Rock after the throw and catch. Really the furthest that they've gone downfield with a completed pass so far this evening. Football out to the 39-yard line. First down, North Little Rock, leading 14-7. I formation in the backfield with Kelly up under center. Quick pitch, Johnson left. Cuts it back to the inside, slowed down, breaks away. Here he comes again. Tim Johnson finally thrown down by Andrew Tryon, and Johnson is trying to say, you may have pulled me down, but it's enough for a first down. I got my first down. And he kind of very visually did that, but guess what? There's a yellow hanky on the carpet. And it looks like it's going to be against North Little Rock, so Johnson's indication that it was a first down was a bit premature. Block in the back is the call.
10 yards from the start of the foul.
Costs 10 yards. And North Little Rock will have to regroup and go at it again. Johnson made another nifty run, but it was for naught this time. Coming to their side is Devontae Rich, number 1. Kelly under center, I formation in the backfield. Play action fake to Johnson, rolls to the near side, and he just throws it away. He was under heavy pressure and just dumped the football off. Looked like over there was Ty Osborne. 5:11 left to go here in the first half. Football at the 37-yard line of North Little Rock. The Wildcats leading 14-7 over the Cyclones. Some exciting plays here in the second quarter after there was no score in the first quarter. Coming to the near side, Dalton Dunlap, number 10. Give it off to Johnson. Johnson skirts outside. He eluded another tackle. Down the left-hand side, finally pushed down by Ty Osborne, but not before he reached midfield. So Johnson leaving tacklers in his wake every time he carries the football, seems like. Very elusive, very quick. First down, North Little Rock at the 50-yard line.
First and 10 from midfield.
So the Cyclone defense trying to hem up Mr. Johnson. I formation. Give it off. This time that's Tillman carrying the football. Number 23. Short pickup straight ahead.
Tillman takes a handoff.
The gain out to the...
Walker in on the stop.
That's the 49-yard line. Excuse me, the 46-yard line. 46-yard line of Russellville. Second down and about 6. Dunlap comes split as wide receiver to the near side. I formation in the backfield. For Kelly. Isaac Kelly at quarterback for North Little Rock. Give it off. Tillman run down from behind by Ricky Collins. Let's see if he's close enough for a first down. It's down to the 41-yard line. He's a little bit short. Got to get to the 40-yard line. As you see the down marker and the distance there in the lower part of your screen. Third down and a yard. Russellville needs a stop defensively right here to get the football back before the end of the first half. Got that big fullback in the football game again, the defensive tackle football fullback, and the ball carrier didn't run behind the big fullback. That was Johnson. Let's look at it again. He tried to cut it back over the center position, not behind that big fullback, and Russellville was able to push him back. No gain on the play. And here's North Little Rock going to go for it here. Russellville with a big stop there, but not before there's a timeout. Timeout on the field for North Little Rock. Big play coming up for the Cyclone defense after this. Cyclone defense talking with the coaching staff. There's defensive coach McNabb. Defensive coordinator Cody McNabb. Fourth down, and after the loss of a yard, fourth down and 2. They give it to the big fullback, and look at him rumble. Boy, there was an earthquake when he hit the ground at the 33-yard line. That was Darius Fountain, 6 foot, 350-pounder, and he got the 2 plus about 3 or 4 more. And I would not want to be underneath him when he falls. 14-7. Boy, he is a big, big man. And, of course, they use him in the defensive line most of the time. Kelly from the shotgun after the first down picked up. There's Johnson, and Johnson, good job by Ty Osborne, Blake Robinson there on that particular play. Let's look at it again from ground level. Kelly gives it to Johnson. Play forced back inside in there. Blake Robinson played that very well. Made a good stop. Ty Osborne, and also was there Aaron McConnell. So the football at the 34-yard line. you've got to get to Johnson early and don't let him get into the crease or get a head of steam going, because then he becomes very much of a problem. Here's Kelly on the bootleg, keeps it himself and run out of bounds right into the Cyclone bench, and he took a whooping when he got to the sideline. Kelly kept the football on the keeper.
Forcing him out of bounds.
Looked like Logan Pruitt over there, number 35. 2:04 left to go before halftime. And Russellville would like to keep North Little Rock from scoring any more points. Corey Moore, number 20, is also in the ballgame now in the backfield for North Little Rock. They give it off to Tillman. Tillman with a wide open field. Scoots in. Did he get in? Yes, he got in just inside the pylon for the touchdown. John Olson tried to knock him out of bounds at the last second, but he was able to scoot inside of his attempted tackle, and with 1:57, that one hurts. Russellville trying to hold it at 14-7, go into the halftime locker room, and the Russellville Cyclones had the option to begin the second half, so they could have taken the football and possibly gone down and tied the football game, but now they find themselves down 2 scores, 21-7. Here's Logan Bussard to attempt the extra point kick. Kelly will hold. And the kick is good. Your new score, North Little Rock 21, Russellville 7. Back for the final moments of the first half after these messages. Well, it has been 3 long runs that have been the nemesis of the Russellville defense tonight. North Little Rock going to kick off, and the Cyclones will have just under 2 minutes left before the end of the first half to see if they can get back within a touchdown of North Little Rock. Here's Bussard getting ready for the kickoff. And the kick is in the air. Van Olen up the far sideline and finally dumped along the sideline right in front of the North Little Rock bench. Looked like J.J. Sheeran's number 26 over there to make the stop for North Little Rock, and there's a 1st and 10 for Russellville with just under 2 minutes left to go, and just with the nose of the football at the 30-yard line. 3 wide receivers to the near side. Back, throwing right, complete and quickly out of bounds. The pass was complete to Demarius Neal, number 23. Off the hand of Barrett Hughes. Out at the 33, short pickup. 2nd down and 7. There's Lutz coming to the near side. Sparks in the backfield with Barrett Hughes from the shotgun. Looking to throw, has time, throws down the middle, complete. Demarius Neal once again. Let's look at it again on instant replay from ground level. Barrett Hughes throws underneath. Here comes Demarius Neal, and he has stood up. That is that same guy, Colby Miller, 175-pounder. Boy, he hits you when he strokes you. He strokes you. And remember, Demarius Neal is a 235-pounder. Pass complete to Lutz. He had to dive for it. Out near 1st down yardage, very close at the 49. Let's look at it from ground level. Barrett Hughes looking all the time, steps up and throws it out there, and the only person who was going to catch that was Lutz. Good job as he got the ball low and to the outside. The defender had no chance on that particular play. Hughes Throwing complete. And a little running room as Jacob Sparks just ran out of bounds to stop the clock into the friendly environment of his home bench. And, Barrett Hughes took a hit just as he released the football. That was Corey Jones, a junior, who laid the wood to Barrett Hughes just as he got rid of the football. Timeout on the field for the officials. And looks like a little sideline warning.
The flag is for a sideline warning.
Russellville up to the line of scrimmage at the 43 of North Little Rock.
Russellville from the North Little Rock, 43.
Hughes been very accurate tonight. Barrett has been. Has twin receivers to the right. Single receiver of Aaron Collins back here to the left-hand side. Hughes throws. That's complete to Varian Collins. Broke one tackle, but not the second. There was Deontay Randolph, number 2. But a nice throw and catch as Russellville quickly rehuddles to get up to the line of scrimmage. Not much time left to go in this first half. And a spike from Barrett Hughes will stop the clock. Football at just about the 35-yard line. As the Cyclones would like to get some points on the board before the half runs out, trailing 21-7.
5 yards being stepped off against Russellville for delay of game.
There's a very interesting call. The officials call a delay of game against Russellville, and you and I both visually saw Barrett Hughes just step back and spike the football. And within plenty of time, although we weren't looking right at the 25-second clock, but looked like it was not any longer than usual. But somehow a delay of game call was called there. Here's Barrett Hughes tossing down the middle, incomplete. For Varian Collins, if he had that one, he is gone for 6. Deontay Randolph, number 2, had coverage on the play. And again, we're all still kind of shaking our heads over that call for delay of game, which cost Russellville 5 back to the 39 or 40-yard line. So here's Hughes. Under pressure now, throws underneath. Demarius Neal makes a good run back to the middle of the field. The stop was made by Sam Bullock, number 6, for North Little Rock. First down for Russellville. And there's been a timeout called by the Cyclones, trailing 21-7. Just moments left here in the first half. 18 seconds. We'll be right back. $18 seconds remaining. The Cyclones trying to punch it in and get back to within one score. The football's resting at the 33-yard line, just inside the 33. The Cyclones have 33 yards to cover in 18 seconds. So Barrett Hughes from the shotgun. Jacob Sparks in the backfield with him. Hughes steps up and throws. It's complete. And Varian Collins almost broke away. Got down to the 20-yard line before he was gang tackled.
Pass is complete for a first down.
And here is they line up quickly. Barrett Hughes wants to spike the football, I'm sure, at this point. Oh, Barrett, he faked that, throws it downfield, and that should be a Russellville touchdown, but I heard a whistle. It's complete to Van Olen. And let's see what's going to happen here. Yes, Barrett Hughes faked like he was going to spike it, and he reached back and threw the touchdown pass to Jeff Van Olen. And that was, oh, you can see Coach Holt is just, he doesn't believe it. There was the fake, and the whistle, you can't hear it right now, but they blew the whistle inadvertently, stopping play. And there's the touchdown that will not count. And we'll be right back. Well, I got to say, that's one of the wildest I've ever seen. The officials anticipated the spike, and it was a fake. And it shouldn't have been a whistle until the ball touched the ground, as Barrett Hughes faked like he was going to throw it. I should say that he was going to spike it, but he actually threw it. And you can hear the boos from the Russellville fans. And the time on the clock has also not been placed back. That time that ran off is just left there. So, my word, some very, very strange occurrences here in the last moments of the first half. Hawker for the field goal try. It's plenty long enough, and it is good. So Russellville does get 3 points out of the deal, but confusion reigns, and oops, we'll be right back. Time now for Cyclone Recap. The exciting plays of the first half. Look at Andrew try and come back here and almost gets away for a big return. Pass out into the flat to Varian Collins. Oh, as he wrestled down. A very physical first half. Here's Varian Collins again. He caught several passes in the first half, but boy, it was a physical first half turned in. Here's Barrett Hughes running up the sideline. Some good Cyclone defense there against Tillman. Throw out into the flat. There's Lutz, and Lutz is hit hard and bounced out of bounds. He said there was some hard hitting in this ball game. There's where Zack Hawker was run into the kicker, keeping a Cyclone drive alive at that point. Lutz gets away there for a nice second effort. Some hard running there, and here Tillman is brought down defensively by Jackson Jacobs. Good defense much of the evening for the Cyclones. There's Varian Collins. Boy, look at those hits. He's hit 4 times before he's finally brought down by North Little Rock. And look at this. Ricky Collins gets enough of a hand to force a bad throw. And a long pass intended for Devontae Rudd. Incomplete. Here's Kelly looking for the throw. And oh, what a great defensive play turned in by the Cyclone defense there. But here, look at this run by Tim Johnson. He stopped and started 3 or 4 times. The extra point kick good. At that point, it was 7-0 in favor of North Little Rock. Hughes throws out. Jeff Van Olen trying to work forward. And a nice defensive play turned in there by the Cyclones on that pass completion. Here's Russellville's touchdown to Varian Collins after Matt Lutz threw the left-handed pass. The extra point kick good by Zack Hawker. There's 7:01 left to go at that point, 14-7. Stood up and stood up hard, and a host of tacklers from Russellville on Kelly that time. Here's Johnson, almost trapped in the backfield, and then it takes 3 or 4, but the Cyclone defense brings Tim Johnson down. And again, the middle defensively was very hard to run on for both teams here in the first half. And boy. Both teams playing very hard, clean but very hard football. And rushing for the 3rd touchdown for North Little Rock, that's Tillman. The extra point kick good by North Little Rock, making it 21-7. Little time left. Well, a try by Zack Hawker for the field goal try. And it's good. And that made it 21-10 at the end of the first half. Second half of action is coming up after a very physical and exciting first half. We'll be right back. Here come the captains to the middle of the field as we get set for the third quarter. Russellville has the option as North Little Rock. Well, I guess I should back up because North Little Rock deferred at the beginning of the ballgame, so we'll see what they want to do. Here's a recap. Second quarter, 0 for 2 on the Cyclones passing, but they did rush for 114 yards in that second quarter. 11 rushes for 114 yards. So for the second half, North Little Rock wants the ball. And the Cyclones will have to kick as North Little Rock had the option to begin the second half as they, of course, won the toss at the beginning of the game and deferred to the second half. Look at the fans who have made their way down, dressed appropriately as they are supporting their Cyclones here at North Little Rock. The whole squad comes to the near side after the halftime pep talk. And head coach Jeff Holt wanting a clarification from the officials. Exactly what's going to happen. He got that. Indicating that Russellville will be kicking to begin the third quarter. And if there's anybody who can do the motivating, that's the man right there. Cyclones find themselves down 11, 21-10. And if anybody can fire up this Cyclone squad, it's Jeff Holt, who's made a career of doing that here at Russellville. He's counting heads, make sure you got the right number for the special teams. The Cyclones and North Little Rock, a very physical first half. Both defenses, the interior defensive walls, allowed very little. North Little Rock was able to get off 3 long runs on the Cyclone defense. 2 by Tim Johnson. The other was turned in by Michael Tillman. But actually, the Cyclone defense played very well, containing the run, except on those 3 occasions, but they were all for touchdowns. One of them for 81 yards. And the Cyclones, of course, used the trick play to come up with their touchdown, a lateral from Barrett Hughes to wideout Matt Lutz. And then he threw it downfield after the lateral to Avarian Collins, who was wide open for the touchdown. And then, of course, the field goal from Zack Hawker after one of the most unusual plays I had ever seen. The fake on the spike, and the officials, an inadvertent whistle, negated a touchdown throw from Barrett Hughes to Jeff Van Olen. You see the kick go out of bounds, and beyond the end zone, another great kick from Zack Hawker, and North Little Rock will have to start at their own 20 after no run back on that particular kick. But again, you got to wonder at this point, if the officials had not been over anxious and had prematurely and had anticipated a spike and had blown the whistle on an inadvertent whistle, because Hughes never threw the football down. There's Johnson carrying the football, short yardage once again, across the right side. And a whole host of white jerseys there. I tell you what, both these teams are going to be sore after this one tonight. But again, you have to wonder if that play had been allowed to continue and everybody didn't freeze. If that had been a touchdown, then it would have been not 21-10, it would have been 21-14, very likely, going into the halftime locker. Kelly gives it off to Johnson, and Johnson, Andrew Tryon hit him and hit him hard, and then he got a lot of help. Look at this once again from ground level. Johnson's had some big runs tonight, but this is not one of them. Boom, right there. Oh, me. Also helping Aaron McConnell and a bunch of other white jerseys. But that's one time you did not want to be Tim Johnson, 145 pounds. But he's had 2 big touchdown runs tonight. Kelly from the shotgun. Fakes, throws down the middle. It's complete. And the ball pops loose. Who's going to come up with it? Russell says they have it. The pass was complete to Justin Henderson. Let's look at it again. Kelly, play action to Johnson. Little lob pass down the middle. Henderson got it, but he's fumbling it right there. And the ball comes out after he's run down from behind. And the Cyclones run over there trying to fall on it. And Russell does get the football. It looked like it may have been Addison Walker. But the Cyclones had several white jerseys in the area, and the Cyclones get a big break here to start the second half. Throw it out of the backfield, complete. Down the sideline, Collins with a great run down to the 30-yard line. Collins has got some speed. Let's look at it again. Again, a quick pitch laterally out into the flat. Collins juggled it for a moment and then turns on the jet and is hit hard, but finally falls forward to about the 30-yard line. What a pretty throw and catch that was. And as you see, both quarterbacks throwing pretty well. Not a whole lot downfield, but throwing off to the sides into the flat. There's a ball comes loose also for Russellville. Picked up by North Little Rock. And coming up the near side, that was Jeremiah Murphy. But you see the Yellow Hankies on the turf. We'll see what the officials sort out now after the completed pass. Stripped and picked up by Jeremiah Murphy, number 29 for North Little Rock. The mark-off against North Little Rock. It must have been a block in the back. That's the only penalty it possibly could have been on the run back after the fumble recovery. But Russellville, which was in great position to score, coughs it up there, and North Little Rock has the football again. Give it to Johnson. Look at him turn, but not much running room. That center of that Cyclone defensive wall is pretty tough. And there again, Aaron McConnell, senior, 5'11", 215. They have corralled Johnson a good share of the time, but he does have a 28-yard touchdown run and a 81-yard touchdown run. Second down upcoming for North Little Rock. I formation this time in the backfield. Johnson dots the I. Gave it off to the fullback this time. A short carry up straight ahead. The ball carrier was Gary Moore, a senior, 6 foot, 235 pounds, running at fullback. Gain out to the 26-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down and 4. Third quarter with North Little Rock leading Russellville 21-10. As physical a football game as you can want to see. Kelly, play action, rolls right, throws. It's complete. That's Henderson who caught it. And he was upended hard, but he was able to hold on to the football this time. And the gain will be enough for a first down for North Little Rock. Down to the outside the 44-yard line. Justin Henderson, the tight end, he's 6'4" and 245. Pretty big target to throw to. Here's Dunlap coming to the near side. I formation behind the quarterback for North Little Rock. Give it to the fullback, and he dives forward to about the 49-yard line. That was Corey Moore once again. Number 20. Checking in for Russellville. Luke Reeves, number 33. You see him come into the ball game. The junior, 6 foot, 220. Second down football at the 48-yard line. Devontae Rich comes split to the near side. I formation. Give it off to Johnson, and Johnson, he's got some running room. Like I said, he'd give him, if you don't corral him early, he will give you problems. Over there defensively was Patrick Jimenez. But the gain down to the 36-yard line of Russellville. So again, Johnson able to, Russellville defense has been able to corral him much of the time, but if he ever gets a couple of steps and a little crease, he can really turn on the Jets and really get some yardage. Isaac Kelly hands it off. Not much there for Tillman. He was stood up and forced back by the Cyclone defense. Let's look at it again. Tillman from the tailback position tries to bounce to the outside, and there's 3 of the Cyclone defenders there to bring him down. Andrew Tryon, one of those, number 2. Gain to the 35-yard line. Isaac Kelly's gone all the way for North Little Rock tonight. Hand it off. That's Johnson. Johnson turns on the Jets again. Look at that guy scamper. Nice run by Tim Johnson once again, and he has been Russellville's nemesis tonight. Blake Robinson, number 10, brought him down. But you give the guy, if you don't get him in the first step or two, he is able to make some really nifty moves. He's able to turn on a dime, and he has been very impressive. 7:06 left to go in the third quarter, 21-10, as North Little Rock not only moving downfield, but taking a lot of time off the clock. Hands it off, that's Tillman. Tillman right, trying to get to the end zone and forced out of bounds. Down around the 10-yard line. It's the first down for North Little Rock, as the charging Wildcats are now knocking on the door. Here midway through the third quarter, leading 21-10. They led 21-10 at the half. Tim Johnson in the backfield. Now they've got the big offset power eye in the backfield with the big fullback in there. And there's a flag on the play. They were going to give it to Johnson and let him run behind big Darius Fountain. Let's see what the infraction is. It's offsides against the Cyclones. So that will move the football half the distance to the goal. So the football about the 4-yard line. North Little Rock on the door of possibly scoring again. Now they flip-flop that power eye in the backfield. Give it off to Johnson. Johnson in for the touchdown. Jumped over his own man who was blocking for him, hurdled him, and went in untouched. His third touchdown of the night with 6:47 left to go in the third period. North Little Rock 27 and Russellville 10. Boy, Johnson has been really the only person, it's the only person who has really hurt Russellville this evening. Tillman has a touchdown, but Johnson has 3 TDs, a passel of yards, including an 81-yard touchdown run. This one was the shortest of his 3, just 4 yards. Bassard's kick is up, and the kick is good. Your new score, North Little Rock 28, Russellville 10. The Cyclones have got to get the offense cranked up now. We'll be back in just a moment. There's Bussard going to kick off for North Little Rock. And again, Johnson, not that big, 5'6", and I'm not sure he's that big, 145-pounder, a senior. And he's just a little jitterbug, and you've got to get him early because if he gets to some open territory, he makes things happen. Now, their other running back, Michael Tillman, a 6-footer, 215 pounds. Now, he hasn't had near as much success. He does have one touchdown run, but Russell's been able to tie him up pretty good. The kick dropped inside the 5. Andrew Tryon tries to bring it back upfield on the return, and there to make the stop was J.J. Sheerans, number 26. And it will be at the 19. First down and 10 for Russellville, trailing now by 18. That was a long drive by North Little Rock. They took it 80 yards for the score. Took a lot of time off the clock. Give it off. And that is Jacob Sparks, and he got maybe a yard. And like I said, for both teams, the middle of the defense has been really brutal tonight. It's been very sticky, hard to get any yards. Off tackle, off guard. The touchdowns that North Little Rock have gotten have all been basically wide plays, off tackle, off end. And Johnson has 3 of those, and Tillman has the other. Pass down the middle. Demarius Neal makes the grab. Nice grab and Demarius was met hard after getting this pass from Barrett Hughes. Little drop to the tight end over the middle, and he is met immediately and dumped. Good job by Demarius to hold on to the football. Football at the 29-yard line. So it looks like we're going to measure to see if it's close enough for a first down. Late stages of the third period, and Russell finds themselves on the short end of a 28-10 score. Well, by the hair of their chinny chin chin, or in this case, by the nosy nose of the football, it's a first down. Here come the Cyclones up to the line of scrimmage. They have an offense they know can strike quickly and often. They proved that against Fayetteville. Hughes, he's going downtown. Way down there, and Avarian Collins incomplete. Couldn't quite get to it. He had drawn double coverage also out there. Collins has great speed, but good coverage by the North Little Rock secondary. Second down 10 at the 29-yard line. Cyclones have a touchdown and a Zack Hawker field goal. North Little Rock has 4 rushing touchdowns. Out of the backfield, complete. Oh, and look at the hit. My word on Jacob Sparks, and he is shaken up. That was Dion Rhodes who came in there. Now look here. Jacob Sparks trying to juggle it, and he gets hit right under the chin strap by Rhodes. And I hope Jacob, he gets up under his own power. I hope he knows what state he's in. Because that's as hard a hit as you are going to see. I don't care what level, junior high, senior high, college, or pros. Rhodes came up right under the chin strap and really laid the wood to him. He was juggling the pass anyway. So Jacob shaken up on the bench. Here's Hughes, throws, and that's incomplete. He intended for Matt Lutz. He would have had to get down low and almost dive for it. And the Cyclones rehuddle. Zack Hawker is in to punt the football away, number 18. And everybody's still shaking their head and trying to get the cobwebs out. They may not have been hit, but they felt there was a high snap there, but Hawker gets it away. They felt that hit on Jacob Sparks. A long kick and down by Andrew Tryon, about the 10-yard line. We'll see where the officials put it down. We take a break. Here are some of our great sponsors. We'll be right back. First down for North Little Rock. Football just outside their own 10-yard line, deep in their own territory, but leading over the Cyclones 28-10. That's Johnson trying to skip his way forward a little bit. And again, Aaron McConnell makes the stop, and we have a Cyclone who is down. We're going to take a break as they'll take a look at Rue Massey in just a moment. There's Rue coming off to the near sideline. He's limping a little bit, but I think he's going to be all right. That shows you just how physical this football game has been. I mean, we have had some wicked hits. We've had some very unusual plays and some unusual calls. And here's North Little Rock leading 28-10 with the football. Hand it off. That's Tim Johnson. A little scat back. Not much room. Aaron McConnell there. He was helped out by Patrick Jimenez. So Johnson has had to kind of weather some of the physicalness of the football game also. He's such a little guy. But he has also had some moments of glory tonight in the form of 3 touchdown runs. Isaac Kelly, I formation in the backfield. Tillman now in at tailback. Give it to Tillman. He's got some running room. Across the right side, and he's going to be bounced down just before he can get out of bounds. Out to pass the 35-yard line. Patrick Jimenez made the stop. And a first down for North Little Rock as Tillman turns in a nice run again. You see where the only yardage that's being really made is wide for either team. And whether it's at the end of a pass completion or a running play, that's the only place anybody's really making any yardage. Up the middle for both teams has been very, very tough going. The meat grinder is a good way of putting it. Carrying it, the football, the fullback, and that is Corey Moore. Andrew Tryon made the stop. Yeah, I think meat grinder is a good way of putting it. Because if you go in there, you know that you're going to get some licks laid on you. And both teams have suffered through that this evening through about 3 quarters. We're approaching the end of the third period. With North Little Rock leading 28-10. Isaac Kelly hands it off. Johnson, look at him go. Here he goes again into the open field. Down the far sideline. Will anybody catch him? No. He is gone. But wait, hold everything. Looks like we have a hanky on the carpet. Well, that would have been the 4th touchdown for Tim Johnson. But the Cyclone fans are clapping, approving this call. They were booing earlier at an earlier call or two, but this one is a block in the back, and it's going to be against North Little Rock, and it will wipe out Johnson's run. Another nifty run where he really turned on a dime a couple of times, back and forth, just really veering and able to turn so quickly and just able to plant and turn and evade tackles and then turn on the afterburner. So the 145-pounders had quite a night, but this time that one came back because of the penalty. Kelly fakes, under pressure, steps up, and now throws the football, and incomplete and almost intercepted by Patrick Jimenez. Went right through his hands. He almost had the big Oski. So it's just a big incompletion at the 40-yard line. 28-10 the score. Russellville needs the football and some points. Here's Dunlap. Comes split to the near side. And we have an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty called against North Little Rock. And, you know, that is really strange. You are leading in the football game. You just had a touchdown run. It was called back because of blocking in the back call, but that shouldn't have probably have brought on a unsportsmanlike conduct call. But at any rate, that's what North Little Rock gets. Timeout. Back in a moment. .235 left to go in the third period, and again, a very unusual call. Someone, I guess, from North Little Rock must have said something to the officials. And really, it's unusual. When you have a block in the back call, there's usually not a whole lot of argument over that. I mean, pass interference, yes. The play earlier for Russellville where there was an inadvertent whistle, yes, there could have been some mouthing following that. That you would have expected, but right there, I mean, North Little Rock is in the lead by 18, and they sure didn't need a 15-yard penalty at that point when the momentum definitely was on North Little Rock's side, and they had just scored a long touchdown, even though it was called back. So I formation behind Isaac Kelly. Play action, wants to throw. Oh, he's being chased, but gets away, and the pass is intercepted. Andrew Tryon for the Russellville touchdown. What a dandy play turned in by the Cyclones defense. And there's a flag on the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct, I guess, over celebration on Russellville. Let's look at it again. Here's the pass play. Isaac Kelly fakes to Johnson, wants to throw out of the backfield, eludes a tackle, throws, and it's off of Henderson's hands, the tight end, and Tryon works the tip drill to perfection. Outruns a offensive lineman easily. And, of course, he did have the hand raised in the air. That may have been what he was called for, but Russellville had that happen in the first half, and it wasn't called. If you remember, Avarian Collins scored with and had the arm extended and in the air, and there was not a penalty called after that touchdown, but this time it is. I don't know if that's what it was called for, but it seems like the most obvious possibility, let's put it that way, that's where the excessive celebration call came from. Well, it's 28-16. Here come the Cyclones again. Zack Hawker will attempt the extra point kick. Blake Robinson will hold. So as I say, there have been some hard hits and been several very unusual plays in this football game tonight. And some unusual calls. There is the extra point kick. Kicked out of the stadium by Hawker. Make the new score, North Little Rock 28, Russellville 17. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, the Cyclones inch closer. They're down by only 11 now at 28-17. And you got to feel like the Cyclones have been just a little bit snake-bitten tonight. You know, one touchdown that definitely was called back by that inadvertent whistle. And if you figure, yes, we would have had to forget about the field goal that Hawker made, but that would have made the score at this point 28-21. And that is a difference between being down 7 and being down 11. And here's Hawker to kick things off. Plenty of time in the football game for the Cyclones. They were down just a moment ago by 18, now just down 11. And the defense turned in a gem there with a tip drill interception by Andrew Tryon for a Cyclone score. North Little Rock now to get the football back after the kick from Zack Hawker. See if the Cyclone defense can put the stopper on now and get some momentum back to the Cyclone side of the field. This is from the penalty distance, by the way, and Hawker, this one might be returned. Well, guess what? The ball rolled. It could have been returned, but Tim Johnson fumbled it about the 2 or the 3, and it rolled back into the end zone, and so that counts as a touchback for Zack Hawker. Remember, he was kicking from a much further distance because of the excessive celebration penalty against the Cyclones that forced him to kick it from a further distance on the kickoff. But it didn't make any difference to Zack. He kicked it down to the 2 or 3 yard line anyway. And then Johnson fumbled it, couldn't handle it, and it rolled into the end zone. So it's 1st and 10 at the 20. And here we go again. Cyclone fans are excited. Cyclone defense needs to make a stop here. Hands it off. And there is nothing, as we said, as there has been most of the evening. Let's look at it right here. Handed off to the tailback. That's Tillman. And Tillman is dropped right about the line of scrimmage. Guess who? We've called his name a lot. 47, Aaron McConnell tonight. No gain. The middle of the defenses has just been impenetrable throughout this evening. Dunlap comes split to the near side. That's him right in front of your screen. Kelly gives to Johnson, and Johnson dumped for what looks like a loss. Good job defensively by the Cyclones. Brad Barnes, number 36 there. Let's look at it from ground level. Johnson wants to get to the outside, but he is wrapped up in that first step or two, and that's what you have to do with Johnson before he gets that head of steam going. So a 3rd down coming up. Devontae Rich, number 1, checks into the lineup for North Little Rock. Last seconds of the 3rd quarter, 28-17, North Little Rock. Give it off Johnson. Johnson into the open field. Spins off and was able to fall to about the 27-yard line. It won't be enough for a 1st down. If he had kept his footing, he would have had enough. It was obvious he had enough open running room to get to the 30. They pitch it to him. He's going to sweep right. Got some blockers out there. And gets the feet knocked out from underneath him by John Olson, number 3, and he fell forward to about the 28-yard line. And those are Cyclone fans. They're applauding the defense for that stop. It gets the ball back to the Cyclones. There's Jeff Van Olen. He'll do the return work. High snap, but the return is on. And the ball rolls dead right at midfield, or nearly at midfield, and we'll be right back. "49-yard line of North Little Rock. Cyclones in great field position here. Boy, and a score here, and a 2-point conversion, and you are within a field goal, a Zack Hawker field goal, of tying this football game. The pass over there to Varian Collins. Fought off one tackle, but ooh, boy, what a hit there by 3 different North Little Rock defenders. Timeout on the field. That's the end of the third period. 28-17. Back in a moment. There are the Cyclone cheerleaders hoping that the Cyclones can continue this drive. And here's the third quarter. 1-for-1 passing for a yard. In the passing department, 7 rushes for 32 yards for the Cyclones. Those are the third quarter statistics. What the Cyclones were able to do. So they flip-flop now. Cyclones be moving to your left here for the fourth period. Let's see if it's a lucky period for the Cyclones. Barrett Hughes. Forced out of the pocket. Boy, he is knocked out of bounds, but did you see how he faked those defensive linemen right out of their socks? He rolls right after faking left, and they were going, where is he? Where's the ball? So just a short pickup. Down to the 45-yard line. But a nice job by Barrett Hughes for doing a great fake job and getting out of bounds. This is the last quarter. You got to make the move right now. Hughes up, and before he can throw the football, there's a flag on the play. Clock stops, and the officials sort out what the infraction was. Russellville seems to be giving up some ground. And it's a false start on Russellville. Moved back to midfield. 3rd and 11 for Russellville. There you see the down marker, along with the chain gang. As you get a good wide shot here of North Little Rock Stadium. Hughes from the shotgun, wants to throw, steps up. Now he's going to have to run. Now, we're going to go right. Now back left, runs into his own man, and the ball pops loose. Let's see who's going to come up with it. There is a scramble for it. North Little Rock says they have it, or at least some of the North Little Rock players say that they have it. Barrett Hughes was trying to, and apparently the Cyclones are able to hold on to the football. Here's Hughes once again. That could have been disaster. Steps up. Now he comes back to the near side, still trying to find. Now, is he going to run? No, I'm going to come back. Maybe I'll pass. He's holding it out, and the ball gets stripped away. The ball loose, goes right. Whoa, and who is that? That is number 54, Bridger Dale, the senior 6'3", 180-pounder who dove for that football. It rolled right between the legs of Luke Posey, number 62. But the Cyclones will have to punt the football away. Zack Hawker's great kick comes down, and Johnson's going to take it. Comes back up the center of the field. Look at him turn on a dime again. Back, forth. But Cyclones finally cut off all avenues of escape. And down there, number 35, Logan Pruitt, is one of those that makes the stop for the Cyclones. We'll have North Little Rock and their offensive in just a second. So the offensive series for North Little Rock coming up. Good coverage by the Cyclones, and Johnson tried to do some nifty moves, which he did accomplish, but the Cyclones able to finally corral him. Here's Isaac Kelly. Hands it off to Johnson, and Johnson is pushed back. No gain on that play for the tailback. Let's look at it again from ground level. Johnson goes right in there tough, runs tough, but forced back. You can see 2 or 3 white jerseys there for the Cyclones in on that tackle. 28-17, fourth quarter. The Cyclones trail by 11. Dunlop wanted to come to the near side. Now he's going to go split off left. I formation. Kelly under center. Gives it to Johnson. Johnson, nice nifty move and drug down from behind by Ricky Collins, number 40. Patrick Jimenez in there to make sure to clean it up good. Johnson again with some nifty twists and turns. I guess, again, like a little jitterbug. Able to go left and right, turn on a dime. But the Cyclones have been doing a better job corralling him here as of late. He did have 1 touchdown called back this evening, just not too long ago. They got the big fullback in the ballgame now. Give it off to Johnson running behind that fullback, and he picks up some good yardage. Stop was made by Addison Walker, number 44. But that big fullback, Darius Fountain, who plays defensive lineman at 350 pounds, but they bring him in on short yardage situations, first down possibilities, to lead block and sometimes carry the football. He's done that a couple of times tonight. And he clears out some room, let me tell you. Tillman in the ball game at tailback now. Michael Tillman. Kelly wants to hand it to him, and he is met immediately and dropped. Andrew Tryon, Aaron McConnell there to make the stop. Tillman, who has 1 touchdown this evening, but he has generally been hemmed up pretty good by the interior defense of the Russellville Cyclones. It's been Johnson has been the one who has been the troublemaker. Although if you look at all the plays this evening, the Cyclones have hemmed him up pretty good, except on those 3 touchdown runs, which have been devastating to the Cyclones. Quick pitch. Uh-oh. There was Johnson, and it looks like he got back on it, but it came right off of his knee. He never got his hand on it completely, and looks like he fell on it, however, and North Little Rock will still have the football, but Johnson is shaken up. We'll take a timeout. Back in a moment. So Johnson just trying to get back onto the football. Shaken up a bit on that play, because it came through his hands. He never did really have a hold of the handoff, and it came off his knee. Give it to Tillman, sweeping the left side, and he runs out of real estate and out of bounds. John Olson forces him out, along with Addison Walker. Football at the 33-yard line. 4th down and 9 is the situation for North Little Rock. They'll have to punt the football away, and the Cyclone defense does their job, and we'll get another opportunity to put a score on the board. Get back closer. They're down by 11, 28-17. Here's Jeff Van Olen. He'd love to return one all the way. Long wait on the snap count. And the punt away. Van Olen's going to have a return from the 27. 40-yard line. Ooh, and hit hard as he got across the 45-yard line. That's the kind of hits that have been dished out tonight. Here comes Van Olen. He has the football in good shape, but here come the blue-clad North Little Rock. Boom, and they double-team him and really send him out of bounds. And Van Olen, a little shaken up on the play. While they attend to him, we're going to hear from a few more of our great sponsors. Back in just a moment. Van Olen got a little bit of his bell rung, but that's the bad news. But the good news is Jacob Sparks, after being shaken up earlier, is back in the ball game. Quick pass complete, and the ball pops out there. Ooh, and Russell able to fall on it. Let's look at this one from ground level. The pass from Barrett Hughes. The pass is complete to Lutz, and the ball is stripped out, but Lutz happened to fall the right way, right down on top of the football. So the Cyclones have the football at the 45 of North Little Rock, trailing 28-17. Hughes throwing complete to Jacob Sparks. Not much real estate there out of the backfield. Hughes looked right, came back left, and it's coming right at your screen right there. And a good job, Sparks, just holding on to the football. And 5 minutes and 59 seconds left to go in this football game. And you got to, boy, Jacob Sparks is a tough hombre. He was really shook up earlier, and he's back in there blocking and all that. There's a pass complete. Catching the football for Russellville was Richard Peavy, number 7, 6'1" junior. And Demarius Neal says, hey, I got to put my shoe on here. A second down and 6 for the Cyclones. The football just inside the 40-yard line of North Little Rock. Time becoming a factor. Cyclones send 3 wide receivers right. Barrett Hughes would like a big score right here. Throws out of the backfield. It is complete to Jacob Sparks, out of bounds. Run out of bounds by Deontay Randolph, number 2. Look at it again. Quick pass out of the backfield. Again, short passes, but positive yardage. And Sparks bumped out of bounds at that point. Football at the 37 of North Little Rock. Time becoming a big factor in this game as the Cyclones trail by 11. Hughes with Sparks in the backfield. He's going to keep it himself. Run straight ahead. Nice run by Barrett Hughes right straight up the middle. Sam Bullock, number 6, made the stop, and this is run all the way. This is a quarterback draw. Good blocking up front by that Cyclone offensive line, and good job by Barrett Hughes. Had a hard fall, but good positive yardage for the Cyclones. Inside the 30. Hughes throws. It's complete to Varian Collins, but just a very short pickup. Deontay Randolph, number 2, made the stop. Gain was maybe 3 or 4. Well, they're going to give him 5 on the play, so here's Hughes, twin receivers right. No huddle at all. Hughes fakes. Now he throws to the end zone, and too tall and a little wide for Varian Collins. Where he would have caught it would have been considerably out of bounds. He was double covered again. They've had double coverage on a Varian all night long. At North Little Rock, secondary has been very difficult and challenging, I guess is a good way to put it. And besides that, they've been vicious. They have been hard hitters all night, and they have had good coverage defensively on the Cyclone receivers. Here comes Barrett Hughes. He wanted to get more real estate, and if he'd gotten past one more guy, he would have had a whole lot of real estate. But number 59, Gary Clark, 6'1", 215 on the defensive line. He tripped over him and went to the turf. So here's Zack Hawker into the ball game. Boy, you think of all the could-have-beens in this ball game. But at this point, if Barrett Hughes had eluded Clark, he would have definitely gotten the first down and maybe more. Well, it's a timeout for the Cyclones. They want to set up properly for this field goal try, and we'll be right back. Jeff Holt looks over toward the field to see exactly what the Cyclones are going to do here. Get enough men, the proper men, the correct number of people on the field. Cyclones, if they kick a field goal here, will trail by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. You see on the sideline also Coach Charlie Goodman, Coach McNabb. They're going to place it down at the 32-yard line. That'd be a 42-yard field goal for Zack Hawker, definitely within his range. So the Cyclones decide, instead of going for it on fourth down, to try for the touchdown. They want to get these three and then try to get the ball back again. Set it down. The kick. It's long enough, plenty long enough, and it is good. He could have kicked it 10 more yards. Zack Hawker, a 42-yard field goal, makes it 28-20. North Little Rock will be back for the kickoff after this. Well, it's up to the Cyclone defense now. After the kickoff, they've got to put an immediate stop on North Little Rock and get the ball back for a chance to tie this football game. And, of course, this being a conference game, you tie, then you do go to overtime. Against Fayetteville, it was a non-conference game, so no overtime. But not so tonight. Not the same situation. This is a conference game, and there has to be a winner. So here's Hawker. See how far out of the end zone he can kick this one. 8 points separate North Little Rock and the Cyclones. It was 21-10 at the half. So the Cyclones have played well here in the second half and have held North Little Rock to just a single score. Hawker and the Russellville Crimson Cyclone kickoff team ready to do battle here. And it has been a physical night, to say the very least. And the kick. And goodbye. North Little Rock didn't even, they just looked up and watched it sail over their heads. Wasn't even an attempt at the run back because it was beyond the back of the end zone. What a weapon. I've said that each week, but it sure is true. Up to the 20-yard line. North Little Rock will have it. And the Cyclone chore right now is 3 and out. Or a turnover. Isaac Kelly's gone all the way at quarterback. Been very steady. Tim Johnson is the tailback, and he's been the big gun. He has 3 touchdown runs this evening, the longest 81 yards. Handed to Johnson. Pulled down after he took a step or two.
Johnson takes a handoff.
He's had quite a night. Stop was made defensively by Luke Reeves, number 33.
Reeves on the stop.
North Little Rock not in any hurry, as you can imagine. Their friend is the clock. So you see North Little Rock slowly up to the line of scrimmage, trying to use all the play clock as possible. Not in any hurry. Cyclones are in a hurry, but they're a little bit dependent upon what North Little Rock does, and they've got to either create a turnover or get a stop right here. There's a flag on the play, and I think you saw Johnson flinch and stand up a little bit, trying to get to that football just a little bit before he was supposed to. And that one will cost North Little Rock 5. Second down 11. Football back at the 19-yard line. Late fourth quarter, North Little Rock 28 and Russellville 20. And how important does it loom now, that inadvertent whistle that stopped a Russellville touchdown? Give it off to Johnson. Left side, and he runs out of real estate. Aaron McConnell forces him down and out after a couple of yards, 2 or 3 yards for Tim Johnson. Timeout for the Cyclones as they try to preserve as much clock as possible. We're down to 2:59 to go in the football game, and the Cyclones trail by 8, 28-20. Back in a moment. The Cyclones wanting a stop, an opportunity to have the football back one more time and maybe tie this football game up and force it to overtime. But they've got to get their hands on the football. Coach McNabb, the defensive coordinator, urging on his defense. And really, the defense has played well this evening. It's been just 3 or 4 plays. The big plays 3 times for Tim Johnson, although one of them was just 4 yards. And the other, of course, Tillman's touchdown. But outside of that, the Cyclone defense has been really stingy. But right now, that's still the difference. 8 points out there. Give it off to the wideout coming around. Stopped by Andrew Tryon on Devontae Rich, carrying the football on the flanker around. And Russellville takes their last timeout of the ball game, unless we go to overtime. So the Cyclones try to preserve as much clock as they possibly can. Down to 2:53 to go in the football game. Cyclones still trail by 8. We'll be right back. Well, the Cyclones hoping for a big defensive play. Hold North Little Rock, get that football back, and give the offense an opportunity to tie it up and force it into overtime. It would take a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And North Little Rock is back in punt position. Avarian Collins is back to receive the kick. Snap, kick, and a good rush, but the ball will roll, and North Little Rock makes sure nobody picks it up, and it'll roll dead, and the Cyclones will have it first down and 10. Well, here's the Cyclones' chance now at the 27-yard line. Their opportunity to take it down and score and tie this football game up. We'll have that drive in just a moment. Well, here it is. The Cyclones have the opportunity. The defense did what it had to do to make the stop. The Cyclones have the football. And an opportunity now to all that hard work here in the second half particularly to come back and tie the game up. They have got enough time. 2:40 is on the clock. That's enough time to get downfield and get the score and score the 2-point conversion and then force it into overtime. And the Cyclones definitely have had some momentum on their side here in the second half. Barrett Hughes directing the offense back to throw. Comes to the near side. The pass. Oh, it's intercepted by North Little Rock. Intended for Avarian Collins, but picked off. Oh, and that's like a kick in the stomach. Let's look at it again. It hung up there a little bit. Barrett Hughes knew who he wanted to go to, but breaking on the football, nice job done by Deontay Randolph inside of Avarian Collins. And that really, really hurts. The Cyclone defense has got to do something really quickly, and the football is not on the North Little Rock end of the field now. It's at the 31-yard line of the Cyclones. Oh, does that one? That just takes the wind out of your sails. Kelly gives to Johnson. Johnson back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard. Looked like Jackson Jacobs made the stop, and let me tell you, Johnson was holding on to that football for dear life. He knows the Cyclones would be after, try to strip it. So gain of a yard. But right now, for North Little Rock, that's not the important part. They want to run as much clock as they can, and Russell is out of timeouts. I formation. Moore is the fullback, and Tim Johnson. He's had a great night. 3 touchdown runs. Rolling left, Kelly, and he is dumped for a loss. Again over there, Jackson Jacobs, the senior, 5'10", 140. Let's look at it again. They fake it to Johnson, but nobody took that fake. Here's Ricky Collins giving chase, but over there quickly was Jackson Jacobs. Trying to strip the ball loose and bring Isaac Kelly, the quarterback, down in the loss. Back to the 32. North Little Rock not in any hurry. They want that clock to just continue to run. They'll run out all of the play clock that they possibly can. Oh, and my goodness, there was a busted play, but it turns into a big gain for Isaac Kelly. He wanted to hand it off to the fullback, Corey Moore, but Corey looked like he didn't expect to get the football, so Isaac Kelly just plodded forward. And look at the time on the clock. 35 seconds. A miracle is needed. Please make a phone call. 28-20, and the Cyclones have just got to be devastated. This is their conference opener, and they had an opportunity there late. Played a particularly good second half. And now there's a timeout for North Little Rock. They take a timeout, and we'll take one with them. Back after this. Final seconds as you look into the Cyclone huddle. 14 seconds remain, and it's 4th down. A yard to go. So we'll see what North Little Rock wants to do here. But not a whole lot of seconds, not a whole lot of ticks on that clock for the Cyclones, and they have no timeouts. And my mind runs back to the interception and to the inadvertent whistle play. Big plays in this ball game. 4th and 1, and North Little Rock is going to go for it. They gave it off to the big boy. And Ricky Collins and others bring him down, but I think he made plenty enough for the first down. That was Darius Fountain, number 78. The big defensive tackle they put in on short yardage situations, and all they needed was a yard, and he was able to lumber forward enough for that. Or at least it seemed like he was.
And we have a charging Wildcat. First down.
And it is a first down. You heard the public address announcer say it, and North Little Rock shouldn't have to snap it but one last time. And the Cyclones will have a long trip back to Russellville. And North Little Rock did not have to snap it again. That's the end of the football game. Here are the game stats. Cyclones 9 of 12, 11 yards. 216 yards rushing on 39 rushes in the ball game, but 28-20. The final score in this one is just a little bit hard to swallow. Cyclone recap of the second half. Here's Johnson. Look at him twist and turn, but the Cyclone defense in the second half did a much better job against Tim Johnson. Throwing the ball to the tight end, but he coughs it up for North Little Rock, and the Cyclones recover. Big turnover. Quick pass out into the flat. Nice run there by Avarian Collins, but some really vicious tackling turned in by North Little Rock. And again, the Cyclone defense doing their share. There's Johnson in for the score and the extra point. Kick good. Throw out there, tipped and taken on the tip drill, and the Andrew Tryon touchdown on the interception. A big highlight for the Cyclones. The extra point kick good. Just 2:23 left to go there in the third quarter, and lumbering forward, good defense, vicious hitting. It was that kind of physical ball game all night long. Here's Tim Johnson, but he didn't have near the yards in the second half. Here comes Barrett Hughes trying to elude trouble, and the ball pops loose, but luckily Russell able to fall on it and keep control. That was a big play. Nothing much doing. Here's Van Olen. He got shaken up on this play as he's bounced out of bounds on the punt return. Barrett Hughes throws back. Ball popped loose, but again fallen on there by Matt Lutz. Out here, Jacob Sparks with a reception. Here's another one to Sparks. Knocked out of bounds. Here's a quarterback keeper by Barrett Hughes. One of his best gains of the night. Here's a pass, and boom, there's a big play right there that ended the Cyclones' last chance on that pass interception for North Little Rock. Good defensive play turned in there. Once again by Jackson Jacobs. Here's the long 42-yard field goal by the Cyclones. It was good, and that made it 28-20. Cyclones were within striking distance, and you see they still had time, but it just wasn't to be as the Cyclones lose this one 28-20. That's Cyclone recap.
Listen to me. I meant what I said at halftime. At some point, now we got to figure out why we go brain dead. We pretty much hit it. We take a quarter off, and that gets us behind baseball. Okay? Hey, first game in conference. That is a good football team. A really good football team. They're doing a good thing. There's not going to be anybody go undefeated in our conference. So we got to come back. We got to go to work. Things that are getting us behind, so we don't have to claw our way back in the ball. Right? Great effort the second half. We gave ourselves a chance. We have got to figure out a way to stay up before it.
Once again, there are the defensive stats. Aaron McConnell with 13 tackles, Andrew Tryon with 12. And again, as you heard Coach Jeff Holt say to his team following the game, a great effort in the second half. It just come up a little bit short, 28-22, as Coach Holt said, a very good football team, North Little Rock. This week's Players of the Game is brought to you by Russellville Sports Photography. The offensive player of the game, Avarian Collins. The defensive player of the game, Andrew Tryon. And the special teams player of the game is Addison Walker. This week's Players of the Game is brought to you by Russellville Sports Photography. We'll see you next week against Little Rock Central. Till then, have a great evening.